like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shut so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far. And I just can't get enough of your energy. I just can't get enough. You're the spark shining in the dark. Oh, 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 love.
Welcome to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. Another fabulous show in store for you. It Is What It Is a show all about real people, real life adversity, overcoming those adversities, and how do people inspire others to give back to society. That's what the show is all about. We all have a story, and I'm here to share them. Now, mitzvah time. What's a mitzvah? A mitzvah is a good deed. I'm going to tell you a little bit about a mitzvah that I just did recently. I have a new column. I'm writing a column in Connecticut Cruise News. Don Clady is the one who puts this out. He's been doing this for, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe over 40 years. And he does all the car and bike shows all throughout Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey. Tons and tons of car and bike shows. He's a veteran, fabulous guy. So I was asked to write a column. So I went in to pick up a paper and at a Harley store in Connecticut, and I'm walking through the parking lot. And as I'm walking, there's an older gentleman kind of shuffling his feet, looking down, and our paths were going to cross. They were diagonal. So I was going to my car, he was going to the street, and just at the right point, he lifted his head and we said hello. And I said, hey, how are you? And he says, I'm good. You got a little cash? And I said, I sure do, because I was going to give him something anyway. So I pulled $10 out of my wallet and I gave it to him. And he was so happy. I mean, his eyes lit up and he was kind of like dancing, a little spring in his step. And, I started talking to him and I asked him, hey, what's your name? Where do you live? What do you do all day? And he lives in a group home. He has to be there, back by 7. Michael is his name. I got some pictures of him. I put it on Facebook, and he was it was a nice exchange. I felt like he felt valued, because it wasn't just giving him money, but it was taking the time to get to know him. That's a mitzvah, So the next day, one of my girlfriends posts a picture. She goes, look who I saw. But he didn't tell me his name was Michael. He had a different name for her, but he remembered, and he was grateful for that $10 and the exchange that we had. I mean, he definitely didn't forget me. So I like to think I'm unforgettable. Anyways, when we come back, you're going to meet this fabulous guy, Stephen Mauriello. Stephen Mauriello has his show here at Strong Island Television, and he has been a police officer for over 30 years. He does some fabulous things out there. He really focuses on mental health, and he is a member of an organization called PAPA, and I'm going to let him tell you all about that. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, you're going to meet Stephen Mauriello. We'll be right back after this commercial.
Silvermine at Home, a Connecticut-based non-medical home care agency servicing Connecticut and parts of New York. Silvermine caters to their clients' needs while offering peace of mind to their families so their loved one can age in place and live their best life possible. Call today to see how they can make a difference in you or your loved one's life. Our family caring for yours. Visit silvermineathome.com or call 203-228-5007.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Saville. We have Stephen Mauriello here with us today. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you for having me on. I'm very honored to be on your show.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I can't wait to be on yours. No, you have a great show. You have a great show. You have a huge following. You've done some good stuff.
Thank you, and as your show has got a big following too, so hoping my followers will follow you, and your followers will follow me.
Yes.
We're both in it for the right reasons.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where did you grow up? We're going to start from the beginning.
All right, so I grew up in Valley Stream, Long Island. I've been in Long Island my whole life. Grew up in Valley Stream, Long Island, and went to elementary school there, high schools. In Long Island, Valley Stream. And then when I got into college, I went to St. John's University. And then
Nice.
I ended up staying in my godmother's my last 2 years in Jackson Heights. That was my first taste of city living before I became a police officer at 21.
So what made you decide to become a police? Because I always wanted to be a police officer. Like, I'm a cop wannabe. I've gone on ride-alongs.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to become an officer?
So I would say nobody in my family ever was a police officer. When I was a little kid, a little young child, I used to watch westerns when my grandfather lived upstairs. I always wanted to be a cowboy, a baseball player, and then when I got to like 12 years old, I wanted to be a police officer. We used to play cops and robbers in the neighborhood. We used to play. I always wanted to be a police officer, and then one day in high school, a police officer came in to a social studies class, and they introduced him, and he was in uniform. And I said, yeah, I want to help people. I want to help community, and that's what. From there on, I focused to become a police officer.
And that's what you continue to do, is help people. I mean, it doesn't just stop there, which we'll get into later. You know, these fabulous things that you do.
So I have over 30 years on, and I went from police officer to sergeant to lieutenant to captain. I'm an inspector now in the NYPD, and I in charge of all transit anti-terrorism. We cover all the terrorism inside of transit in the whole 5 boroughs.
Oh, wow. So you have a lot of great stories, I bet.
Yes.
You know, that's the thing. Being a cop, you've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, do you have any PTSD from things that you've seen?
Yeah, so I was a 9/11 responder. I was a lieutenant at that time. I was in Fort Greene. So that the day of 9/11, I would have been down there actually when the buildings were coming down because we were right across the bridge from it. But I had the afternoon election duty with at the time was the commander and officer of the precinct. So I remember watching on TV. I rushed in, and they had us down in the Navy Yard, and we had to turn people out over there. And then the next day I was down there, and I would say yes. You know, you get PTSD sometimes. Most of the times, I'll tell you, the 9/11, seeing what was once a building is rubble, wanting to help people, the dust, and then I say a lot of PTSD comes back when you see the innocent become victims, children abused and murdered.
Yeah.
That is one time as command officer of the 81st Precinct. We had a young 4-year-old, I guess, abused by his mother and her boyfriend, beaten to death. And I remember I had to go to the scene, and he was 4 years old, but he looked like he was 1 year old. The weight, he was malnourished. Neighbors heard him scream at night. It was horrible.
Yeah,
I remember grown men and women crying. We, of course, we arrested the people involved, but it's like, this poor young child,
And he died.
He died.
Oh.
He died.
Yeah, those are the things I don't think I could ever see. Like, again, I wanted to be a police officer. My mother used to tease me, and she'd be like, you can't run. You have too much hair. My boobs were too big at the time. I don't have them anymore. I had breast cancer. She was like, I can just see you trying to catch a criminal. You just won't do it. So, but I thought I'd be a great cop. I really did, and go undercover. But I don't think I could bear to see those things, those kinds of things that you know.
I think you would be a great police officer because what you do now, you're in the field of helping people. So I think you would have been a great one. I would say, a lot of times people say you can't do this, you can't do that. I would say prove them wrong.
You're right. And it's funny, back then I listened to people. I don't listen to anybody. I listen to myself.
Prove them wrong.
Absolutely.
That's what you want to do, prove them wrong.
I thought about doing it again, but I'm too old, I think, now to get involved, so I don't think I wouldn't be able to go to boot camp.
We
they go easier on the older ones.
Yeah, no, we appreciate the support, and the men and women, we have a lot more support out there than they realize. It's my job as command officer to go back to talk to them and tell them how much they're valued. My motto on my show and also at work is you matter, you're important, you make a difference. You know, you might think you don't matter in this world, but you do.
Right.
You don't think you might, what you do is not important, but it does. And a lot of people, when they go close to retiring and they want to retire, they want to know, did they make a difference in this world? And I tell them you did. And you did. You know, you made a difference with your job, but you made a difference at home. You could have helped Mrs. Jones across the street. You could have shoveled her house in a snowstorm without even thinking about it, not asking for nothing. Just knowing that you want to help the family. You make a difference in a lot of people's lives, and your show does too. And my show does too.
It does.
And that's why we do it.
Yeah, yeah. It feels good, doesn't it? You know what I say? I say giving can be selfish because it's and it's a good selfish. You know, because when you give, you get so much in return. You feel so good. So I want to keep giving because I feel so good about it. It's the feeling you get.
That's the complex we have. So it's called almost like the superhero. We want to help everybody else, but sometimes we neglect to help ourselves. A lot of times, but it's who we are. So, you know, on my show, I give up phone numbers. A lot of time I'll get phone calls from someone who knows somebody who's in distress right now, might think about taking their life, and I will point them in the right direction, how to get them help. And it works out a lot of times. So we'll all have a battle, but we do what we do. We try to help each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. So NYPD, so are you in the city?
So, yeah, so I turn out in Harlem. I'm a command officer of the whole city of trans anti-terrorism. I work for NYPD Transit for great Chief Wilcox, and I have 170 people, police officers that work for me, and supervisors that add on to it. So we have like 190 underneath my supervision, and they do a great job. They're out there from early in the morning to late at night, patrolling the subways for not only anti-terrorism for the terrorists, but also prevent people from becoming victims of crimes.
Yeah.
And they do a great job, and I'm honored to be the command officer of such brave men and women.
That's a big, absolutely. You know, I've always said back the blue. You know, when it came out, like back the blue, always. I always thank officers or firemen, you know, for their service because, you know, they could be doing traffic duty, and I'm like, you know, thanks, you know, because it's a lot of work, you know.
2020, you asked about PTSD. 2020. A mix of shutdowns, lockdown, COVID. There we had a lot of I guess protests, looting, you know, in the city, and it was a very dark time for the police officers that we had to respond to. A lot of if you go into Manhattan where it is now, and when it was going on, the garbage pails were on fire. It looked like the movie Purge.
Yes.
Broken into stores, people looting. We arrest them, and then they sent us up to the Bronx Grand Concourse. And I remember it was dark, the lights weren't working, there was gang members on the corners yelling at the cops. We get out of the car, people are looting pharmacy stores, jewelry stores, we'll place them under arrest, and garbage, airmails coming down on us. People try to run us over with no headlights on, my cops and myself. It was a very dark time, but you remember why you do it. You're out there to help the helpless. And 99% of people that live in the city are hardworking, good people that need help. And I remind my officers that they're hiding in their house right now while we're out here keeping them safe.
Because it's that 1-2%. You're right that are out creating all that havoc. That, you know, the lack of respect was disgusting. The
way they played it up, it didn't do justice. You had to be there. We were doing it every night, and you know, and they were flying people in. They lived upstate, and it would end up the protesters being arrested. You know, like, what are you doing out here? I don't know. They paid us to come down here. And you're like,
wow.
They were throwing Molotov cocktails at police officers.
Yeah.
They're throwing bottles at us. You know, but again, do you lose faith in mankind? No. You know, it's a small percentage of criminal element. We do what we have to do. We know we have the backing of the great people in the city of New York and the whole New York State. But for the officers, it's hard to motivate them.
Well, listen, it was hard to do their job. I mean, you go, they arrest somebody. They rightfully arrest somebody for committing a crime of some type. And then it's like the police officers slapped on the wrist and they let the criminals go. You know, I mean, that's not right. It's a complete lack of respect for what they do. And, I mean, the fact that they got away with, you know,
100%.
I mean, the fact that they got away with, you know, 1-2%, 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 you know, 1-2 with all the things that they did. I mean, terrible stuff. Listen, on my 50th birthday, I'm 52 now. On my 50th birthday, COVID was going on, so I didn't really have, my kids were great. They got their friends, because none of my friends did this. Thanks, guys, But none of my friends were like, you celebrate yourself. But they got their friends to do one of those little car chains, to drive past and give me flowers. It was the sweetest thing. But I remember I was coming home and I said, you know what? I want another gun. I have a permit. I love shooting. Yeah, love shooting. And I said, I'm getting myself, because there were crazy people like barging into people's homes and I live in the suburbs in Connecticut, and going into the suburbs, and I'm like, hell no, I'm a single mom. Hell no, no one's coming after me. I'm going to protect my children, my family, my home, my homestead. And I don't care if I'm arrested for pointing a gun at somebody if they're on my property, but they're not going to come on my property. So I stopped and I bought myself my 50th birthday present. And it's like, they call it an other in Connecticut. It's the AR-15. Yeah, like I like guns.
Yeah.
So I got lots of ammo and I'm ready. But you know what? You felt like during that time, people like us felt unsafe. And then we see the police officers, they can't do their jobs. It really made you feel unsafe, because you look at police officers to protect you.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the officer's always going to do. We're always going to do our job, and our job is to prevent crime, to make people that come to New York feel safe and sound. Now, we'll do our job. We need other people to do their job, and that means sometimes to keep. Not everybody.
Right.
Some people deserve to not wait in jail, to wait to have a trial. They deserve to be out of jail. We all agree with that.
Yeah.
But right now, the way it is, some people don't deserve to be out on the streets when they did a violent crime, and they're out back on the streets to do another one.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing. And it's a dangerous at times, not only for the men and women, but for the people that live in the communities at times. But the officers will do their job. We do a great job. We support our communities that we work in the whole city, and that's what our job is. And believe it or not, I try telling people, it's not the uniform. People look at the uniform and they want to vilify the uniform.
Right.
I have to remind them. I had a lady on the subway one time give me a hard time in front of people, and then I got a standing ovation. I'm in uniform, command officer, and I said, ma'am, I'm a son, a brother, I'm a father. Now I guess I'm a grandfather. My wife's grandkids. So I'm all this. I worry. I bleed. This is a job. I'm here to help people.
Yeah.
Don't vilify me for the uniform wear. Get to know me.
Yeah, you're real. You're a person underneath that.
And everybody gave a stand ovation, because that's the truth. Sometimes they're like, oh, and another thing, we as police officers, one of my pet peeves I hate is when little babies, will be like, if you're bad, he's going to take you away, and they're afraid of us. No. I want your child, if they're in trouble, to come run to the police officer to protect them. Right. If the boogeyman's after them, or the bullies, or someone worse, I want them to come to us. But sometimes I have to correct them, the man or woman. I say, don't do that.
You know what?
You want to discipline your children one way. Don't make it to us. We want them to come to us.
Yeah.
We want them to come. God forbid they feel like someone's going to hurt them.
Exactly.
Come to us. We'll protect you. We'll take you home.
I'm guilty of it, because when my kids are little, if they didn't behave, I'm going to call the police. But then they listen.
That's it. But when they see a police officer, like, you see, he's going to take you away. He's going to take you, and they start, and they're not afraid of.
My
at a
kids
young
always
age, I'm like,
respected, always loved and respected.
I understand that. I came from an Italian family, so my mother, God rest her soul, she would. I was a good kid, but she'll hit me with anything she grabbed. A wooden spoon, wolf ball bat, whatever. I was a good kid.
I got that too.
Yeah, so I'm like, and I was
Jewish family,
it's like back then, whatever they could grab, they grabbed. I was like, what?
The belt, the spoon, the dish detergent. Yeah, I got it all. Pepper. Oh my God.
So like now, but we all grew up. We grew up.
Yeah.
Respecting family, and
Absolutely.
we grew up loving our family. So they raised us the right way. So.
Well, this is a good stopping point. We're gonna take a break. Come right back after this commercial. More from Steve and Mauriello.
Do you or a loved one need the care of a nursing home? A vibrant community to call home, with our healthcare professionals available 24/7? Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, located in New Milford, Connecticut, has been offering award-winning care for over 40 years. Whether you are rehabilitating from a cardiac procedure or hip replacement, or seeking a place for your loved one to live where he or she can receive top-notch health care, our team is at the ready. We also accept veteran benefits and offer a special secure memory care unit for residents with Alzheimer's or cognitive-related conditions. Call us at 860-355-0971. Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, a place to heal and thrive. Ballas Associates, sales, service, and support for all your computer and PC networking needs. Whether it's wired or wireless, upgrades or repairs, backup or disaster recovery, we can provide the solutions to all your PC needs. No need to get frustrated. You know a guy. Just call Ballas Associates at 203-792-2300. That's 203-792-2300. Or visit them online at ballasassociates.com.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Saville and Stephen Mauriello. So, Stephen, tell us what Papa is. I think Papa, I think of my dad.
Yeah, they call me Big Pop. So, Papa is police officer providing peer assistance. I'm a member for 5 years now. And what Papa is, we're trained in mental health awareness. It's independent from NYPD. It's confidential. It's run 365 days a year, 24/7. When I'm on call, I have the hotline, they call it, for 24 hours. Someone will call into a number, a police officer, retired or active member. He's not retired yet, and they'll call in a number, what they're going through, and a phone number, and I'll call them back right away. And we talk to them, and it levels from talking to maybe I have to get them help right away, and then we call up our operator who switches to a clinician. We'll get them help.
And it's all confidential.
It's confidential.
So how do you, if you call them back, you know who it is then?
Well, they're giving you a number. So I know who they are. They tell me who they are.
Yeah.
So right away, they're funny. Our job, they always think like, okay, if I ask for help, is it going to come back and hurt me? No.
Right.
It's not. It's come a long way, getting help. It's stigma. When you hear depression, it used to be a stigma, but it's not. More than 50 million people a year suffer from some serious form of depression. So it's more of a sign of strength to ask for help now. Right. So when they call, we call them back. I get to know who they are. I'll tell them my first name. Sometimes they say, "Oh, are you a boss?" I get to know them. And we talk to them and we get them help. And why I wanted to do this is, I would say in 2010 was probably the worst year of my life. I went through a divorce. My mother was dying. She died in January, like just barely 4 days into the new year. She passed away. Wow. And I had a work mishap. So I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. Yeah. And I didn't know if I was coming or going. Yeah. I had to split my children up. My son went with me. And my daughter went with my ex-wife. Right. So it was a tough time. So flash forward, 2019, I'm a member of Papa. In 2018, 2019, we had 10 officers commit suicide, active members. Wow. In the uniform. They weren't retirees, they were active. And one of them was a close personal friend, a chief, high ranking, that I knew for a long time. His sister watches my show, Chief Steve Silks. Cindy watches, she'll probably watching this too. And it really took me back. So I turned around and said, well, we're doing all this to help people. What could I do? And I talked to him like 2 months before he committed suicide, and he had to retire. Yeah. And I didn't see it coming. I know he was a little sad about retiring, but I didn't see the signs. And, I could talk about the signs in a minute, but I said, what could I do more? I'm doing Papa, yet officers are taking them. Sometimes they go out there, they'll just read a prepared message, which is good, but sometimes they want to hear genuine. Yeah. And that's when I started 2019 and went on TV, on Facebook, and I went live, and thousands of views. And I started a show, Keeping It Real, Steve Michael, on top of Papa. And I'm still, to this day, from 2019 to now, it just got bigger and bigger, where I talk faith, hope, mental health awareness, never give up, and that's what I do now with the job, the police department. And that's what I do on my own time with the show, Keeping It Real, Steve Michael. Also, I went to speak with kids incarcerated in group homes. Oh, wow. I went to churches to speak. I went to high schools and I spoke.
You speak about mental health
Yes.
and all that.
I speak about
Yeah.
your audience, and a lot of times you're not, your mistake, your past mistakes,
Right.
and don't define who you are. We get to move from it, and so if I talk to youth incarcerated, we always come to a fork in the road in life. Go left, go right. Wizard of Oz, which way to go? And the scarecrow like this. But it's the funniest thing. Sometimes you go left, and that's the wrong road.
Right.
The difference of me and some people that maybe are incarcerated is I went the right road, but they always come back to that road.
Yeah.
They're not stuck with
Right.
a dead wall. And that people have. I try to emphasize to everybody that your past. It's a life lesson, not a life sentence.
Yeah.
And sometimes we keep the guilt, the grief, the regrets. We beat ourselves up, and we become prisoner. And we don't let ourselves go. So I feel a lot of times we do Papa, I listen. You train 2 years,
So
one
that's
mouth.
just for police officers.
So Papa is for police officer, NYPD, active retired. So when I do my phone numbers for my show, I'll give out Papa, I give employee assistance units phone number out, and that's for civilians and NYPD officers. But I always give out Suicide National Hotline because my show is for everybody, because we all battling. Over 22 veterans a day commit suicide. It's a number that's staggering. And I give out firefighters number in here. And that's why I believe my show, when I do it, is a family. Everybody watch me. We're family. It's a movement for positivity.
Right.
And that's
I
how
love.
and that's how they look. And they follow me no matter where I am. They'll come out to events. That's why I like to introduce you to my family, Steve Michael, keeping it real, Steve Michael. And I like to be part of It Is What It
and
Is.
Here you
family.
are. Here you are. It
Let's
is
go.
what it is, right?
It is what it is.
You're right here.
You know what? That's a line we all say. It is what it is. And you got to throw your hands up in here. It is what it is.
You know what I say?
What?
It is what it is.
It is. Damn.
And that's my book, which I'm going to give
is?
you. It is what it is.
I
Yes.
like that, yeah.
And it's a book full of fucks, and Bobby's going to have to bleep that out.
So you brought books. My 2 books are coming out soon. First one is Sunday Night Thoughts. I wrote 13 poems where I compare life to like the Wizard of Oz, life to Walmart shopping. I wrote my own stuff when I started my show. And the next one is all my writings about what I've been through, motivational, how you keep people look at us. So we all have a story. You have a story.
Yes.
I have a story.
Yes.
And people wonder how we still could walk and smile and be a positive influence, because we know how it is to be broken, lost, abandoned, forgotten.
Big time.
But we also know how to come
We've
back.
been down there, and we were able to lift ourselves up. And now that we're back, in a good place, we can help other people do the same. And that's what I'm all about, too. That's what this show is all about.
But I also stress to some people, too, is that, even though we're in a good place, I call the ocean anxiety. Sometimes you have to learn to doggy paddle, backstroke, float. But you get to the land, the lighthouse of safety. Every once in a while, I can find myself in the ocean anxiety.
Absolutely.
But I remember how I got back. And always, for me, it was faith.
For me, it's not faith. But, I don't even know how I got through it, to be quite honest. But
Faith, family, friends, love. That's my 3 F's and 1 L. But so it doesn't mean you have to be into religion and know everything. I know I read some faith-inspired writers who'll get me out, but I also know friends, people you can lean on, family if you can lean on family, and love. We all need love. And we're more loved than we know. Even when we're at our ugliest, we think we're at our ugliest and broken and hideous, we think we are. We see that funhouse mirror, but to the world, we're not.
It's so true. We're our own worst critics, always, right?
Black belt. We have black belt in karate. We beat ourselves up, I tell everybody. But your mind is a powerful, dangerous weapon. And when I do my speaking, so I do Papa, you look at your head, from your head to your waist, all right? And I'll explain what serious depression is. So anxiety, it lives in the back. I got this. Anxiety lives in the back of your mind. Your brain's like 90% great. You could do everything, Rubik's Cube, your birthdays. You do math. 10% is the strongest part. It lives in the back. It's the attic. That's where your anxiety lives. And every time, like holiday time, Christmas, holiday, Thanksgiving, I'm going to take everything out, put decoration, like you did a beautiful job. Guess what's that? Guess your anxiety comes out, too, of the attic. So we find ourselves in depression.
It does when I put these sofa covers on.
You get anxiety?
Bobby could tell you the anxiety. I can't do it.
But you thought it looks pretty good. I was going to give you a compliment.
It's so hard.
It is a pain in the I used to have a pain in here.
I sweat, That's my 10% anxiety right there.
You got heartache and heartbreak in your heart. It lives there. You know, like the Grinch. It's two sides, small, too hot. No one sees it. We know it's there.
Yeah.
And you got guilt and grief in your gut. Some people lose a lot of weight right away or gain a lot of weight, stress. And the last thing, these are signs of depression. The last thing is isolation. You might be in a room in front, but your lights are on, no one's home. And I remember driving to work sometimes. It's therapy in my car, listening to music, crying. But I was my own therapist on the couch, just thinking, how do I get to point A to point B? And I pulled into work, I got here. Oh, wow. How did I get here?
Yeah.
And you realize isolation doesn't mean you're living in the mountains around nobody.
Yeah. No, you could be in a room, you're right, full of people, and you feel like you're alone. You feel like nobody understands you, that you can't connect with people, you know?
And we all feel that way at times. But, I could tell somebody, yes, we do connect. Yes, most people, if you open up to what's going on, they'll sit and listen. And so we get trained, but you don't have to be trained. There's things you could do to help somebody right now. You could tell if they come to you serious depression, they get thoughts. First of all, I have to ask somebody when they do pop-up, not do you want to hurt yourself, because we don't want to hurt somebody. I stop. Do you want to kill yourself? And it's a hard thing to ask somebody, especially if you be a family member, do you want to kill yourself? And they can tell you, oh, not now, but I thought about it at times. So now it has leveled it up to okay, we're in crisis mode here.
Yeah.
You got to offer them hope. Hope is that things can and will get better.
Yeah.
You can't shame them, judge them. You can't say, oh, is that all you're going through? I'm going through that plus B and C. No. To them, that one thing is the worst thing in their life.
Absolutely.
And they don't know if they could survive it.
Absolutely.
And then you're going to get them help. You stay with them. You know, if there's pills, take them from. If there's sharp items, you got to hide them. Take them to appointments, get them. Stay with them. The worst thing to do is you stay with somebody. I had people call me up, and you're hoping that, you know, it's horrible. It's really a position, and they do get help, but you're really scared because you're not there right now. So now it becomes if it's really serious, like I got a gun to my head, and if you really think they're gonna kill somebody, you have to call 911. Yeah, call 911.
Yeah.
Or if it's a family member, I just took a whole pills. You're gonna have to call 911. You're not a snitch. You gotta get someone over there to help them right away.
Save their life. It's more important.
I'll tell you, a lot of people in the end, they really don't want to take their life. They feel they're a burden.
I know. You know what I've heard, like, they've done studies where, like, say somebody jumps off a bridge. The second they jump off, and they survive, the second they jump off, they wish they never did.
Never did.
Or they take a whole bottle of pills, and they're like, I know this happened to one of my daughter's friend. You know, she was really young, and it was Tylenol, extra strength Tylenol, but that's bad. So she took a whole bottle of extra strength Tylenol, and the minute she did it, she called my daughter crying hysterically. She goes, I did something bad. And this was middle school. So my daughter reached out to her mother. You know, then she goes running. So, I mean, they were able to get her to the hospital in time, and because it could have shut down her organs, I don't know. But people are usually, you're right, they regret.
Your daughter suffered from that, too. My son's, one of his close friends, was 18 years old. He goes to the train station, takes a picture of the train, sends out to all his friends. He jumped and killed himself. 18 years old.
My God.
So now, here I am, I have to pick up the pieces. I have to get my son help. You have to get your daughter sometimes help. I mean, she survived, but if God went the other way. And I had to send him for therapy just to talk about it.
Well, it is scary. I mean, to watch somebody go through that. Yeah, you're right.
18 years old, why you think it helps us? Sometimes it's financial, but not for that age. But sometimes it's.
It wasn't my daughter, that was her friend.
Yeah. Sometimes it's
but she saw
broken heart for all of us.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's bullying, cyberbullying. These young children right now, you look at statistics from 10 years old to 14.
Yeah.
Like 1 out of every 100,000 commit suicide. 10 years old, what they know? But cyberbullying, texting on the computer, shaming, nowhere to escape it. When we were younger, they used to bully at school. You went home. You didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, but now it's like a constant. It's literally in your bedroom.
Kids go on the phone, they go on the internet, and now they're like, it's horrible. And as a parent, what do we do?
Right, right. It's terrible. No. I remember being on social media. Like, I never had Instagram until my kids got Instagram, years ago. So I went on Instagram and I saw all these kids, because they friended me. I don't know why, the mom, but I was a cool mom, but they friended me, but they didn't, I guess they forgot that it was on Instagram. And
Did you
I guess,
drinking?
well, no, cutting was a thing for these kids.
Yeah,
like in middle school, it was like a fad. And thank God my kids never,
Oh, if you cut yourself the wrong way, you bleed out.
Well, that's it.
So the side is one thing. If you come
but
down
they would
straight.
put pictures on Instagram of them cutting.
And they cover it up so the family don't see it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, well, they
A
literally.
sweatband.
So I contacted one of the parents and I said, do you, like, I sent a screenshot. I said, I'm only telling you because I don't want your son to die, you know? And she was aware that he was cutting. But I mean, it's like, yeah, crazy stuff. But the bullying, all that, you're right.
And that's
it's pretty bad.
You know, everybody. So we live in a world. I call it like the funhouse mirror. We live in a world where you go on social media. I mean, you look at social. Just give you an example. Kardashians. Everybody watches.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't.
They have everything. They have a lot of money, but yet they have the same problems: depression, breakups,
Real. They're
setbacks,
yeah. Yep.
and all that money in the world doesn't
Yeah.
bring happiness. So when you realize we people, especially the youth, are chasing these social media red bottom shoes. Oh, this one's going on vacation every month.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, they're single and they can't find happiness one way. So they go on vacation, and yet you might be in a stable relationship, but now you yearn to go on vacation and not be stuck at home. And I always tell a story. My grandmother was about to die. She was in the hospital, 93 years old. Before she went home to hospice, she was clear-headed. Grandma, what's the secret of happiness? I have to know.
Yeah.
You know? She said, everybody goes searching for it, never to find it. I said, wow, that's negative. I thought about it. But my grandfather, I knew. She met him years later. My father never knew his father. He had two brothers. Her one son committed suicide.
Wow.
She had to bury a child. So she said everybody goes searching for it, never to find it. And I realized when I tell everybody, it's not your diploma, it's not your car, it's not your house, it's not your relationship, it's not your house, it's not your it's not status. Happiness is here.
You got to find
Everybody
it. Everybody
goes searching, never to find it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, was it Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster? No.
She's right.
She's right.
You got to find it right from within.
It's inside.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And at first I'm like, what? And then I thought about it. So, man, she's 100% right. It's not your diplomas. People chase diplomas.
Yeah.
They chase cars. They chase bank accounts.
Yeah.
They chase relationships to find out maybe that's not what they would look. That ain't the right one.
Got to be happy with yourself first.
If you're not happy with yourself first,
Yeah.
no one's going to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy.
All right. Good stopping point right there.
Perfect.
Make yourself happy. So we'll come right back after this commercial. More with Stephen Mauriello when we get back.
Silvermine at Home, a Connecticut-based non-medical home care agency servicing Connecticut and parts of New York. Silvermine caters to their clients' needs while offering peace of mind to their families so their loved one can age in place and live their best life possible. Call today to see how they can make a difference in you or your loved one's life. Our family caring for yours. Visit silvermineathome.com or call 203-228-5007. Do you or a loved one need the care of a nursing home? A vibrant community to call home where there are healthcare professionals available 24/7? Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, located in New Milford, Connecticut, has been offering award-winning care for over 40 years. Whether you are rehabilitating from a cardiac procedure or hip replacement, or seeking a place for your loved one to live where he or she can receive top-notch health care, our team is at the ready. We also accept veteran benefits and offer a special secure memory care unit for residents with Alzheimer's or cognitive-related conditions. Call us at 860-355-0971. Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, a place to heal and thrive.
Hello, everybody. This is Stephen Michael. Come watch Keeping It Real with Stephen Michael every Monday night at 5 o'clock on Channel 115. We talk faith, hope, mental health awareness. It's shot every week live at Paradise Studios, Strong Island Television. Come see what everybody's talking about. You matter, you're important, you make a difference. I'll see you on Monday nights.
Keeping it real with Stephen Michael. Never give up with Stephen Michael.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Saville and Stephen Mauriello. So, Stephen, tell us about your show.
All right. So what Keeping It Real with Stephen Michael about? So it's a weird name. When I first started, I put it out there, what should be named my show? And someone came up with Keeping It Real with Stephen Michael. And Michael is my middle name. So that's what the name of the show is. What's it about? So what I push out there is faith, hope, mental health awareness. But what's separates sometimes different format is the first 30 minutes is pretty heavy. We talk. At times I have people cry in the show. Suicide survivors.
Yeah.
a loss of a loved one, a father died in line of duty, and then they leave the show happy. And that's what my show's about. The last 30 minutes, we'll have virtual vacation where you leave your passport home. We go to different islands to music.
fun.
I do flashback frenzy. I spin a wheel. We go to a year. I give you the trivia, and we do music montage. I'll do flashback frenzy, spin a wheel. I do I do also what the heck is it? I'm thinking now. Top 6 songs with something in the title. And I do freestyle interactive. I should know that better. Freestyle interactive, my favorite part of the show. I write 10 crazy questions. I love doing a live audience. I do it a lot of comments, and a lot of times I don't want to do either the answers, but I have to for the show. You have to give an answer.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll be like, would you rather go bungee jumping, jump out of a plane, parachuting, or zip lining from the top of the Empire State Building down?
Right.
So which one are you going to do?
Right.
And I'm not bungee jumping. I'll jump out of a plane if it's going to crash.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to do, but I did zip line before, so maybe I'll have to put a blindfold on when I'm on top, and I'll pick zip line. But people are like, I don't want to do nothing. I'm like, you got to choose.
So you have fun. It's
fun.
You talk, you address the serious issues, and then you also have fun. So you lift people up.
The show is like life. I call it a roller coaster. Life is heavy, twists and turns.
Yeah.
But at the end, you get off the roller coaster smiling. I want to do it again, and that's what the show is. Not to give up. Yeah. I realize I have to give hope. Even if I'm on a bad day, I have to come up there positive. They love my energy.
Yeah,
that's the
you
big.
do
How
have
do you
great
do it?
energy. I love your energy too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love your energy too.
Thank you. Thank
And so
you. We're
that's
happy,
why-
positive people.
That's it.
Yeah,
You
doing
know?
good things. Yeah.
And sometimes I'll tell you. So I don't even watch my show. I can't because they do it once. But now since I'm on cable TV, Optimum Channel.
Yeah.
On
Awesome.
Mondays, Optimum TV on Mondays at 5 o'clock, channel 115. If you're watching this, if you want to watch it, I watch myself, and I'm like, oh, that's fun. It's funny. When I interact this week, we did with Tyler Cianchetti and Gary Brown, ex-NFL football player. Tyler, who's autistic, singer-songwriter, and he playing his guitar, singing, and he did Whitesnake, Here We Go Again on My Own, and me, Gary, and him all singing. And they say, I know I can't sing, but where does it come from? I want to have a good time. Yeah. If I don't make someone happy, if they cry, and I know it's a heavy topics, if they say, and you know what, they said, man, I did podcasts, but I really this is different, I really had a good time. And that's what I try to look at, what can we do to help the audience come back?
Yeah. They
could survive another week. I do a lot of music too. I write my own music. The opening song is from Makia Brown, Keeping It Real with Steve Michael. My closing song is Greg the Entertainer Mackey. He's a captain on NYPD with me, and Makia's a detective, and he sings Never Give Up. I wrote my other song, The Fighter Inside, and also Tomorrow's a Promise that she sings. I have other music I write, and we play.
Do you sing it? You write the lyrics? You write the music also?
So we get the music. I do the music with they help me with the music. I write the lyrics.
Okay.
And
I write song lyrics also. I'll have to show you some.
Oh, good.
Okay, so,
Definitely. I love it because I think we write from inside.
Yes.
It's
something inspires. Like something has to inspire. Yeah.
It releases.
Yeah. Oh, I love to write. I mean, I have 3 books out. I have 3 more in the works. So writing it is. Whether it's the lyrics, it's the stories. Yeah.
So you asked me, do I sing? I'm actually on every song. They put me. It was a good idea. I guess I'm the DJ Khaled. I can't sing. I can't sing too well, but I have a line or two on it.
You have a nice voice.
I'm a good karaoke. A couple. I used to till I got this voice. I got Rocky Balboa. I hit puberty. I got stuck with this voice, and my singing voice went out the window. But I can sing.
I say I hit puberty twice because I don't know, with my voice, it got deeper as I got older. I don't know why.
Do you drink coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Me too.
Coffee.
Coffee. Well, I go anywhere. You're from New York. I said, what gave it away? My accent. What gave it away? But then I go, I'm like, well, you're from Australia. How'd you guess? Well, I could guess it was Australia or London. I listen to them.
Right.
So it's funny, people. But I'll tell you this. It's like life. I don't talk politics on my show.
Right.
It's taboo.
Better not to.
Taboo topics. I don't talk. I don't want to. Some people put something. I don't want to talk about it because in the end, I realize why I talk about it. In this world, you take away, this and that. What side? Take that away. In the end, you cut everybody open. We bleed red.
Yeah.
We all worry about our health, our family, what our children will do. We worry about financial, paying the bills. In the end, we're all more alike than we're not. So once everybody knows that, we come. So that's why I think my show is very successful because I can have people vote one way probably, vote another way, or don't even vote. And they all watch the show because I give them hope.
Yeah.
Hope that we could, another day's coming. I talk faith, you know, and I also honor every show. I had the police officer who died of cancer a year ago, John E. William Lawrence. We did a 100 episode here. He was on it. That was he did a show after that, and he passed away of cancer.
Wow.
And I talk about him. I put virtual vacation to Johnny, but he's a man that battled stage 4 cancer. 19 years on the police department. Not only was he battling, he was in a cancer survivor group. He was doing Team Body Right Fitness. He was doing my show, and then he had his own talk show called Memory. What is it? Chronicles of Johnny Williams Lawrence, and he talked on the radio on DJ House's radio.
Wow.
And he talked about it, and it's great stuff. I listen to it again now and then that he's still here, but I try to honor him because I believe when we pass away, if you don't still honor him and think about him, they always stay in our heart. You know, I don't want anybody to forget about him.
Yeah. Well, they say even like, you know, my rabbi used to teach us, you know, if you don't retell the story, you'll forget and it'll happen again. So like the Holocaust, we used to say we have to retell the story every, you know, so that it doesn't happen again. You know, something you said struck, you know, or hit me. We're more alike than we're different. So I've always been big into bridging differences and diversity. And my father was involved with the Anti-Defamation League. And so I became involved years ago when I was younger. And one of my books that I wrote is called I Am. And I Am is a book all about children's book. It's all about the beauties of diversity. And yeah, it's I am, I'm a beautiful me. I am, I'm not what you see. And then it goes into all the other the verses. Yeah. And it talks about how despite the fact that we all may look different, we have different social or economic, whatever it is, we are all the same.
We are.
We're all people. We're
He made us.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's like,
and we need to respect each other.
We don't.
Yeah.
And that's what I used to. So I don't know rights to the songs on Facebook. So I like to end in my show a couple of times, and then they caught up.
Got in trouble. Facebook police.
OJ's Love Train.
Okay.
People all around the world.
Yeah.
Love Train.
Yeah.
Get on board. Keep it positive. That's what the show's about. Keeping it real, still, Michael.
Absolutely.
Keep on. Your show is about that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Not effing, but I am, and it's the truth. I am, you know. And what I like live events. So we did a big one in La Novella for mental health awareness. A lot of police department, a lot of people will watch my show. I don't know. I really don't even know. Only on, they'll come to my events, and I'll sit there and they'll tell me what they're going through, what they have, and how this. I hate saying it because they tell me that I saved their life, and I stop them and I listen and I helped you.
Yeah.
God saves. I help.
Absolutely.
But you don't know the power of your show and my show when we talk positive to give hope. And I do mental. So if you follow me on Facebook, Keeping It Real, Steve Michael, is a cartoon picture of me. Go on that one. I put motivation quotes up every day. People, strangers now, they just put testimonials. I got them through Facebook and they put down. You know, I'm at this. I'm certain age. I come. Even though I haven't met him live or seen him live, I come every day. He gave me hope to keep going on with the motivation quotes. And I say that to people: if you just treat everybody with respect, ask them, "Hey, how you doing?" You don't know, you might save that person's life.
Well, that's why when I talked about the mitzvah, right, that I just did, I talked to the guy. It wasn't just to give him money and go on my way. I wanted to spend some time with this guy and
humanized him.
Yes, that's exactly it. Exactly. You know, and you could see his eyes light up. You saw the spring in his step. Instead of shuffling with his head down, his head went up and he walked. You know, he was so completely different attitude, and he remembered me, you know?
So God gave you a gift and gave me a gift. I call it the gift of gab. I could talk to anybody. You know, my kids, my wife. I'll be in another state, another country.
And I bet your kids and your wife are
I'm holding conversation with everybody at work. I'm on, and I socialize. Like, I wish more cops are like me, like you. I said, they are. Maybe as outgoing as me, but they are.
Right.
99% are very good, hardworking, and really care about you.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's I always put that because you always got one time, you know, in everything. You can have a mishap, but everybody, you know, is shy. But if you really talk to people, like Forrest Gump, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
You know, sit on a park bench. You know, me, I like the feather at the end. You know, when he's putting the son on the school, the music in the back.
Yeah.
I was at peace watching the feather, and I said, here he is. He's putting his mother put him on a school bus. He put his child on a school bus, worrying. His wife just passed away, and I said, but life goes on. and he showed positivity, and that's what I think. What do we remember for in the end? You're not going to remember. You remember for your acts of kindness.
Yes.
That's your legacy.
Yes.
What people remember about you is your legacy.
Yeah.
Not if you donated money or you know how many cars you had or you left a lot of money to someone.
Exactly.
They go through it.
Exactly.
It's the memories you leave them.
Yes.
With the acts of kindness, you don't even try to do it.
Yeah.
It's just who you are.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to, we're going to end it in just a minute with my final thoughts. But when I wrote my book, I kept thinking to myself, how can I be remembered, right? How can I leave my footprint? I mean, I've left my footprint, but I want people to remember me somehow. And I always want to write something, and I never thought I had a story until I had breast cancer. And after writing this,
thank God you survived.
Thank you.
You're here.
Thank you.
You're an advocate to help others.
Big time. And it's amazing how things in life kind of detour, and all of a sudden, I say that the journey sucked, but the destination's amazing. I mean, what I went through was not fun, but and about 4 years of it. Yeah, it was awful. Whatever we go through.
Bad chapter in the book of life.
That's it.
We don't like to go back there, but it made us stronger to where we are and move forward in life.
Yeah, it actually gives you more direction in life and purpose. And this is my purpose, And I mean, besides being a mom, the best mom ever, I absolutely love, and I'm so proud of my children. They're like the two best things I've ever done in life, or have my two kids.
Children too.
Yeah, so that's tops. Yep. But writing this book and sharing my story, and that's why I love having you and other people on to share their stories. It touches people. You never, like you say, you never know who it's going to touch. I've had people from all over the world contact me and say, "Oh my God, Cindy, even I didn't have breast cancer, but I could totally relate to what you're saying, and you give me hope and inspiration." And
my grandmother had breast cancer.
Yeah.
And then she developed shingles afterwards.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah, bad.
Shingles is not fun.
And then I know you got to leave, but I said one thing.
Yeah.
One grandmother, my father lost a brother. He killed himself.
Wow.
And my mother only had a sister, and my other grandma buried her young. She had they said she fainted off a balcony in Spain.
Oh my God.
So I remember the policeman and the priest coming to my house that day. I was a little child.
Yeah.
I remember that to this day. So I always say, what could we do better? And I'll just leave you one more thing.
Yeah.
I did a speaking engagement with Sandy and Medium. We did it for a fundraiser for a young boy who was a victim of crime. And I'll tell you, it's crazy. Sandy, so she's reading the room. I did one before. I never met her. She read me about my grandfather. I walk out of the room. I come back in, and I go to sit down because work called me. And she's doing another table. And she walks up with, Teresa. That's my mother. I say,
wow.
My mom. She goes, you know what? Your mother said you had to do everything on your own. You came this close to ending it.
Wow.
And everything she said was right on board. And that she's always there, and that's why you do what you do.
Yeah.
Because I could have been a statistic for anybody watching this.
Yeah.
2010 was my worst year of my life.
Wow.
I could have been a statistic. I could not be here 12 years later. God spared me to bring me to where I am now, to help others.
Yep.
And that's why I do it. It's not about ego and how many views and people want to go at me. It's about, I have a mission.
Yeah.
I'm not making money off this.
Yeah.
The mission is, I know how it is to think, life can't get better.
Right.
But I know how I am now.
Right.
How I got here.
Right.
So it's my job, as long as I breathe in my body, is to help other people. And that's what, and she validated it, which I already knew. I mean, I know, that's why I do what I do. My mother's watches y'all. And there's one thing in it. Is a cartoon, right? Here's a guy on top of the stage. He's speaking to a audience, but it's all seats are empty. But the mother's in the front row with a rose. And that one, I get more emotional, I think, because my mother's not there watching me, but she's always with me.
Absolutely.
And I know she's there watching. So I say that for everybody. Life is a journey. Sometimes it's not great, but keep moving forward because suicide is never the option. In fact, it's the worst thing you can do, not because it leaves the pain for everybody else for years later. Yeah. So don't give up. You matter, you're important, you make a difference. That's my motto.
I love it.
I'm bringing you on my show. We're going to do the calendar right now.
I can't
wait. December.
Yes,
we're going to have a good time. And then
tell them how to reach you again.
So you can find me on Facebook page, Steve Mauriello. You can find me on Facebook page, Keeping It Real with Steve Michael. I'm on YouTube. You can subscribe to Keeping It Real with Steve Michael. And every Monday night, if you got Optimum Cable in Long Island, Nassau and Suffolk, you can find me at 5 o'clock live, channel 115. And also, I believe Roku TV we're on, right?
Yeah, Roku.
Roku.
Yeah.
Go to Strong Island Television. and you go find Cindy. It is what it is. You already know. But you go also find Keep It Real, Steve Michael. Hey, just give me a chance. I tell everybody this one thing. Watch my show one time. I guarantee, maybe you don't come back. Maybe you don't like my boys. But I guarantee you're going to have a good time. And I would say my recidivism coming back is at least 99%.
Phenomenal.
Everybody comes back because they have a good time and they think I'm crazy.
Well, listen, I liked you enough that I had you on the show, so.
And I like you enough that I came on the show.
Thank you.
And we're going to do business.
Yes.
And I say for all my followers who do watch this show, Cindy is a great person. She speaks from the heart. It is what it is. She believes in redemption like I do. A lot of her guests that went through stuff. I'm all for that. And for her fans out there to say, who the heck is this guy, Stephen Michael? Give me one chance. Come watch me live next Wednesday night. Live next Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. I guarantee you'll laugh, maybe a little cry, but you'll leave happy.
Yeah, feeling, yes. Well, thank you.
Thank
you so much. I
ready to
appreciate
book
you
right
being
now
on the
before you do
show.
the next one.
We're going to do that.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
So I'm going to end with my final thoughts. And my final thoughts are just basically what Steve just said to you, but truly find your happiness from within. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, comment, like, and share if you want to win the book. And I forgot to mention that earlier. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Live your life like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open yourself so the world